Yo abusia nanso so yekwesi adabio mankrankra bi achi e mankrankra bi akwaba at the back time with Maame Grace dwumedie kase su nim se bonu nsia pe na wonu aba afa me ho akono se nchenam na chese ma beto aba bia wo ne abinsem adwendwen nsem ho na yebusabusa ye ho nsem sade amedi kan ye no African spirituality sese wo ye eagle na wo refi wo ho sese wutu antabanya o se ehum kase bi bebo na kai wo sese wutu eye sa ene yehu yamane a yekom ana so se yehu ni se eye obi na eye se wuhu wamane se eye obi na eye wa obe handle ne sen na se wuhu so se wamane ne yade a kai wa eno so obe handle ne sen eno ni nkomo a ene yedi enti abusuamu endi kan hwe the loop of salvation because an episode no was just one phase medical church said yehu ni amanyina sana Yesu ayeden wabam ti wo me nane ni say ni yenhwe again the platform is open. If you think otherwise you are welcome and it is for free. Let me confess to you first before you also share your turning point moment in the comment section. Pachopa, I've had many turning points back in the day as a fierce Christian worshipper. I always tell you people that mumu Christianity nimpo akondo mu hye ntade pa edeko mu hye wig ni ade deko. Our time was not like that. Ya chichiri yetiti said ya yekuna ni yesi ho. We have fallen on the floor at revivals. Se me say metira wasofo ade ngu agu me so a sa ngu no wahu menji ndi se wo de ko oye no mu yi watakora de no kora ne be yepe me oye lo mu de agu me so weeping thinking we have met the living Jesus. You have done more than you can do. But was it truly him or my witchcraft spirit showing itself? Mibisao, ni awoya wo ho ni nyina no. Na ye nyame ampa, ana na ye wo bayi. Me kan bayi na mandwe nko. Se de omuhunu se eye nam wo sina, wo sin aye ko no wani asin aye ko. Madam fu bi na me ne kwa asori. Nyasema nka mbo sofo ni din. Yakwa sorry no na sofo ni se madam fu no ni problem a esoa no esu chen wiase nti out of frustration na madam fu ni bisa sofo ni se nti se me problem na esu me no esu chen wiase ye de no metumi so aye e de ba wa sorry da mu ha niama de ya tibio unye hwe nchen de amema ye me nam kam kiro ye ne ye to ndum na ye ho ofe na kakra so wo ho nti ye ne ye wosoro ne e wosoro pa nti abusua form na wo body wo hu a wo twa ne ne call ye ba ye no ibisa wo e Jesus na aba ho ana wo ankasa wo bibi esi wo say ye papa ye bone e na eda no hu adi because at the end of the day anointing ba so twa ho hwe fam obi so bayiye ka no ho asori dem wo twa no ho hwe fam so which is which eno na bibi say man ma wo bufu. Another time I fasted for days and when my stomach churned I believed the Holy Ghost was downloading power. And just say, hey, my story is sad. We cooked for pastors and paid them huge sums of money for working hard. It's years come as of achia. Fasting amaye. You no do nothing. One kasa kra so na okonu ni hwe. Enti osofo no kra ofre no mba ye ne ye campion. Ha! Ye campion. Now only omo ye rough so na omo ne be rough me discipline one kasa. Then later I connected with an inner mystical order because I believed my earlier born again story wasn't deep enough. Because deep down within us, I remember that time no ye kwa adumfa abena enyi sa abena yiyi wo ho aye yeduedi asa mbena wo ho minua ya ye bia manyame ne ye kwa adumfa na se ye pe yi Holy Ghost baptism. Not speaking in tongues asem kese enti ne yakwa adumfa na omo de twini ginam na say ye di light tintin ni na Jesus obeka Jesus ne sa akopim so wano befom na wa start e tongues na twini asisu o obi a wakwa adumfa bia will not dispute this fact and you obi na catch me I have been there. You've not been in Atria Mountain say crowd omo sisi down wo sa time ne ye kokko a na ye hye rubber because na ha, erade. How many turning points must we go through? Bibi Samu. Because me ye niyama ni nyina na mi said niyama mi hu na enye deep enough. Na de pushi me cry more. was attention and na dey ma bronsam no. So I decided to focus on abronsam. Na me wie no one time. So we are able to focus on ourselves because ye koni ye de nyame ase a ye de nyame ase boko. Ye say ye nka ye boni ane so ye ka ne nketen but e ba ni say ye nkum bronsam a ho na hoodin ni nyina wo. So I'm like no. I say me finding out abronsam ade a metimi di aye no. So that hoodin na ye di kunu ye ba kodo ahwedifuo. Eho na me started say me hwehwe niamem. Wo me bisa how many turning points? And say wunya. How many turning points? Na say miminya. Time ko anka me kan asem bia minya ye pa kire mu asori nti. Sa time no when we started, na ice chest white akese no na me na me de bagana. Na me katwa ni dog food. Na nya ni da abui. Ye de dog food ni ye de hye ice chest ni mu. Ye de abagana na ya beton sa time na sa ice chest no wo bia. It said they are overland document. And ye started the bagana. Na asori no me de me hu nti no na nkrofo na omo ye singers ni ade no ba asori ho. Me kan encounter ba akopɛ akere o sei. Na asofo no so pay asem nti ombe ka kere say mani ba bi no ntena mani ba bi no nda. Na bia ye nam business. Na me gi girl ba ko wo me fie. Na owo fie ho. Na ne boyfriend so be fie ho e be sra no omo nyina wa asori ho. Osofo nim say omo nyina omo ba me fie ho. Enti one day na me was Shangri-La hotel. Say see no crash so lawu. And a girl you friend me say the boyfriend is up account number no this guy blah 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 back forth. Me this kind of at hard time 30,000 near kind of 300 million. Na sa time me see obi 100 million na enye na me di me man check no because of asori donkey. Me catch road ya me koma. Say nya nyame na o mafa. Anka me kodem. Ni na ye ma asori no. Nti me pese me bisa say turning point how many necessary you could make na me na me prayer warrior leader. Bi bia ekoso ananso hwe onipa na me ne wo asori ho no hwe amane odi me betu nti me bisa. Sa asem we mentumi nkyereke mu ye nka mo behu ni amekọ mu. Na me si awiase na yatim no sa wadwene mu ete na wakoma mu tia bibie ne ho atwifa wo so. The short turning point made it seem like Jesus was waiting at the edge of your collapse to swoop in with light and glory. But let me ask this question. What if the collapse was you calling yourself back home? You bet me adwene say. De bia ye ma ehu sa asem to obi a na eya de bone na ato no. Ye ntimi hu say like that wind will blow, that shake up will come. So you come to your senses. Na ye nananom no mo ya aware nti omo say afutuo nsakra nipa age sensohwe. So I ask you, how say bi asade we nyina esi wusu no wani aba wo ho so ana watsesa wadwene ana wasesa wusu ana se wapagya wumu. Because de bia say wo be bibi be ye wa ye push bi ena ebeyo ena brabo no nso so sa na tie ye be wo betena se wo be wiawia na wanante na watumirika na watumi di speed ayeden ade agum nti se ye bɔ me na me wiawia wo fom na me ntumi nante yi a na kire se ye bɔne na abeto me ana nsoche ena abeto me ana ye process ami kom na metumi agina me na so yi se me hu ni se ye nsoche na bronsam de abeto me ami focus be kwa bronsam o but se metumi hu se ade agwe to me ama mesue nyansa eno mema mani aba me ho so na ma hwe nsakra ya meye hu ni sen eye question. What if it wasn't a God outside you? What if enye Jesus bia enye obia enye ala enye ohu ena eye wu say na emum eye wan kasa wo higher self ye betumi ahwe ni say but a God within you waking up from slumber. Abusia yen hwe ni sa na say yen hwe ni say obi na di aba na say wo hwe ni with these two different lens na e di ensunsanso e di be effort na be ma waye me pamucho. The Jesus element comes in at the time of no hope. And that's when you know son. And no shoulder to lean on. A moment of personal submission to temptation and addictions. Abra wapa ba. Nani that's when you know son. Yehovah. They say onipa mpo se wo se wo pese wo dwen na wo dwen yi a se wo nko a wo to ho na wo dwen a ene wani ba wo hu niama bebrebe so enti se wo nko a wo timi tena se baabi na wo dwen a na niama bebrebe ba wani so a me pa acho na yin Jesus na aba ho ana eye hunhum ati mu ena kasa na se ye hunhum ati mu ye hunhum ben. And they program us to think that temptation is a result of Satan or adversarial attacks. Say so you this program we to wadwini mu a you will never focus on yourself. Obakwa waste time ni na killing bronsam. You see why I am having a problem with those who are polluting African spirituality, which is not. Those using in Samanfo, making it look like African spirituality, which is not. Because African spirituality is full of wisdom. It makes human beings. It doesn't reduce human beings. Because who say obi na ye obibi. Ebema we ni aba wo ho so. Said the eto you can confront it. Mini atie. Ewiase we na ewo mu bibie ni wiase mu etu nipa a won to me confronted that. Said the tie biara onipa betimi na dwene ba na ho so nti na ye wo say wapo wo ho wapa aba. It doesn't work like that. You have the ability to confront bibia. So and now what me agitum say bibia confront no peja wakosoro. So wo hu ni senya you will not give yourself out. When you see things like the way I see things, whatever confronts you, you will go through it and then become harder. You will not allow anything to go through you and turn you into something else. Now we and the yet demon nipa say nipa ebeti ase because me am ye nipa po me ntwen say obi me wi amade en say na nsa na ma kire nipa no say ade ne ye media but onyankopon de o twen mabronsam be wia na wakum na wasai ansa na wabami wa ono aso nim se bronsam de obamu a obewia na wakum na wasai ba obetena back na watwen sa ade na ba na wabeshow no ho so oyo owo ho. How do we calculate this? You are either married to a marine spirit or your sexual addiction is from a family generational curse. Say ni ye be ka kire see ye ka ni say nkire wo a say na obe handle no na se wutumi hu so se addiction na wabemu no ebe se wabrabo ase wu nipasu ayi wani onyam afiri wo so a eno so how na obe handle no bija question we the man. What these doom prophecies don't explain to you is that the addictions are natural distractions from their opposing fruit of your spirit. They will never explain this to you. Eniyama nipa esese okom ansa na wanyane afiri nindam. Obi ani wono ma oda ne ye nyane na ye whisper ana ye blow ni kiss ye bebo wo ye nyane ebo eya na dani mpo wo jai da ena for me no so eya because ena ye de. Ye de sa niam we hye ya adwunim ana ye blame ni pase bibia beba wo so bia mfaso ni so. Na se mfaso sa nsotwe ne ba wo so mpo ansa na nyame aba na che se nsotwe na enye bone. Cause no na be fire nyame e di abro sane ye te sa niam we ase. For example, if you struggle with lust, it's not necessarily because Satan wants to ruin your life or purity. It is an indication for you to notice the opposing fruit of the spirit in the light of purity. So by knowing lust, you look for purity. Intino one ton sugo shire mu a unnim se nsu ogu ahodo. This is what your ancestor told you. Osesa prontreni anton so shemu a anko nim se nsu ogu ahodo se wo de nsu onwinu nko ama unim de ekoso because ewiase nankasa there is esun wo ho and esede wo ho esum wo ho and han wo ho. How do you experience both? Abrabo nankasa the universe itself no ema ya kwanya ema ye experience different things. Nti adenti na de bia na ye blame bronsam o na bronsam ko hi o na bronsam ba ho na bronsam ye senyo se wo bo adwamanya e kire wo se ahotie nso so ye den e wo ho because so wo mpo beto wa e ma wo kwan ma wo ascende anaso so e ma wo kwan ma wo reincarnate. Nti bibia ba beto nipa bia epie nipa de ko bibi fufrom ye betimi ahwe ni sei na aboa yen ni ye jai say ye wasting all the time pointing fingers, which the Bible has said that the Satan is the accuser of the brethren. No, then exactly ni paso. Mumu ya Christopher, nti mumu nya bronsamba. Nti de bia mo pointing finger at bronsam. Nti mumu ya bronsamba na asamu ya den. We ya question mi jama mo. In African metaphysics, every disorder is a distortion of a divine gift. This is African spirituality. So it makes sense to look at the strength your temptation is trying to limit. This is very simple understanding. But you see, African spirituality na kasa so ko na konya yika ko na konya we ni na this the same cancerous spirituality na ye name no. You go through pains to grow. Bibia wo je bia wo pese ye kasie bia ebre eka ho atete eka ho. I tell people, if your business is able to survive 5 years, e betumi survive the ekoni na nti na matu fo na maka to say business na wo cost start no make sure so wo work a salary 1 year da ho and 6 months da ho mem fa wani to 6 months ni bibi beba enye sa wa ba mu bebu wo bejai me ka say nkire nkofo and they keep succeeding. But we ye be blame obi ye mani pass afutu we say wo ko bibi mu a try to polish you out of ade a wo kom no but bibia ye blame obi no waye menua se wansua nante a wontumi nsua mirikatu na nante no obi etutu a obobɔ fam wotu mirika so a wo hwe fam kopim se obetumi unan beje fam etu mirika no wotumi di speed ahyem enye easy. It has nothing to do with religion. Adie bia wo kom no religion entimi nye hwe Jesus doesn't care. But because you experience a temptation, you now yearn for the opposing spirit. Oye nyame a esese oye me papa wabo me esese me do enye bibia wo be ya ama me nti esese me do enti wontumi nka nkyira me se social ntome na wo be gye me asama do ene kyese wo force me ama ma do. Love is not for sale. So why are you trying to show off for me to love you? Because now I am indebted. That is bribery. That is corruption. And you get to invite it through many ways. By all means. Just say, unya koto from dia. Hey, obefre Jesus. Na se me to from na me frɛ wa se me tumi asan akɔ. Is that why you people are not stable? They be you sin, you bounce back, you sin, you bounce back. Because onim se mbra na emfa. Obia na ye kwan ofa so nyini. Appreciate wo kwan a wo fa so anyini nti se wo feeling po se eye bronsam ena de aba wo so a who will make it a turning point? Yourself. Na se bronsam de social ne ba wo so ena nyame bebe mu a it's still profitable. It means enye bone. So why do we keep beating bronsam? Mo abo bronsam ama me honam nyina ye meya cause me ne neti me na me rent that man. Why? Enti se bronsam no de such a beba yesu na nyankopon abese ni ho anuonyam a ho na se ye de nasema no enya bronsam ade na mu praise bronsam kakra because wan ba yesu mba ono no pave way ansa na nyankopon atumi abeye ne ho kese. What if I told you that these temptations are not demonic warfare but symptoms of spiritual misalignment? Se me kan we kire wa be di pacho obedi se me ka kire wo se ni aba wo so no enya bronsam bi enya bibi bone na emom eye bibi ensisi so e na attract bibi because ohonam no krampo bibi nkoyie wo ma wo feel okay. It is the same way na se sunsuma fam no bibi nkoyie nso a wo ye bibi a entimi nye yie. Because don't forget they've told them in their Bible what the spirit conceives give birth to the physical. They don't understand. But if you don't understand that these temptations are not demonic warfare but symptoms of spiritual misalignment, and yeah, let's go deeper into this issue. Like I said before, that in African metaphysics, every disorder is a distortion of a divine gift. We na omo peso omo wia ohun nti we na omo peso omo wia na omo nti ase nti na obia nyame be frɛ ni bia te say why distorted or no read. They say this, but the understanding is not there. A smoker is someone whose voice frequency is under attack. Their throat chakra is in defect. And when we come down and understand these things, we are able to help each other and leave the devil and the Jesus alone. They should do their battles wherever they are. when this thing happens, you will smoke. Because frequency of your voice no is under attack. The throat chakra no a defect. Nti eba ne sa ade ebe attracting the smoking. And that energy is called salamander. Say ya ma say nyama we anya easy. Na yanti asia se body nanka se sigo ne ye machine. Say anya okay. But to be too wa baby. Na se anko ni ya wabrabo ni ntumi ye yanti sade we ya sesen. Ni ye say ye hwe outside. Na ya ye niama. Enye papa ne besi ye so. I was telling my class people something the other day. Now we were doing menopause. Now I share 55 to 60 years. And we were talking about bone density. And they were saying that I sewunya 55 and I possible so be from now bone nebu. And I was telling the class that no, me wouldn't otherwise. So we bone ni mbu ya want to me bofom. Inte ye bone ni nebebu. Ameni pana bofom because when you 55 walk on now bone density na aye bad into so we obi a mobility hu ye den ma wo a there's a possibility say dompe na ehunu no ebetumi ebu mu atofom into nye nipa na otofom no na di dompe bu ye na emom eye dompe na bu ye na ma nipa na etofom na dia making me back in with science and I make a try am say enu nti na wunya 60 walk on na so omokoye wo surgery the doctors don't want to do it because a bone issue they believe that so omokoye bone no na so omo di bone to ni boma there's a possibility say betumi apai because at that time or at that point you know the bone no losing the density say ya nto ye bo na ya ndwin niama e ba ye so no ho ni ye hu say ya mixing wrong chemicals enti ye be ye ni yie na ya nje antum say bibia ya align and I didn't such a be by your so. Yes, you could chase Jesus because we will be chasing the wind. Ye be woo or woo prematurely.